Yo guys, what's going on? Monday86 here, back with the 2002 Honda Magna. And today we're going to be tearing apart the carburetors. Went ahead and bought a rebuild kit off Amazon. Hopefully it works. But we're finding out right now that we either have a float that's stuck, but essentially when you turn the bike on or turn the fuel valve on or reserve, fuel just dumps out, just keeps pouring out, then fuel fills the cylinders. So today we're going to diagnose that. We're going to take off the gas tank, probably undo everything to the carburetors, and we're just really going to dive into it and see where this fuel problem's at. All right, hope you guys enjoy. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this seat, which consists of this rear bolt just on the back. So we'll go ahead and remove that, remove the seat. All right, we got the bolt for the seat removed. Let's go ahead. Should just slide back like that. Should be able to remove the seat. Okay, just to be on the safe side, we're going to go ahead and we're going to disconnect the battery here. Just going to undo both the positive and negative terminals. Now that we've got the battery disconnected, we're going to go over here and remove the bolt that holds on the gas tank. So grab yourself an Allen wrench here. Let's remove this bolt. Alright, got the bolt removed. Let's go ahead and get started on removing the gas tank. Okay, I know probably under this gas tank there's probably going to be some hoses, your fuel line attached to this. I have never removed this gas tank on this Honda Magna, so it's going to be new to me, but hopefully everybody else that's doing this, it's new to them as well. So we'll be going through this at the same time together. So we just take this step by step, how to get this gas tank off. Alright, let's try to get this tank off. Lift up on it. Just kind of lift up here. Pull this part off. Man, this thing is full of gas. Probably should have emptied it, huh? Right, here I am, kind of trying to get this gas tank removed. Just trying to. This thing's full of gas, doesn't help either. Well, it's coming free. I'm just going to set it here temporarily and kind of get a look under here and see exactly what lines have to be removed in order to free this fuel tank. You can kind of pull it up here. Let's pull it up and let's take a look, see what's in here. So it looks like the only thing here as far as fuel going to the gas tank over here on the left side of the bike, right here where your reserve fuel on off valve is at. It looks like just the fuel line here, so it has a clamp on it, so I'm just going to remove that. Hopefully that should free up this tank and we'll be able to just lift it up and then go set it down gently. Well, this is what you get with an old bike. Not sure if this fuel line has ever been removed, but check this out too. Just pinhole here in the fuel line. Yeah, so that's nice. Yeah, the fuel line ripped. Might just be a little old, so definitely getting a new fuel line will probably help this bike out tremendously. But it looks like we removed the only thing holding up the gas tank, so let's try to go ahead and get it removed. Okay, let's go ahead and try to get this gas tank removed. As you can see, I have a little piece of wood there, just kind of helped me hold the gas tank up. I probably could have removed the lines easier first before I tried removing the gas tank. So if you want to, if it's easier, remove the gas line off the fuel select valve. And let's try to get this thing off. Just be conscious of the handlebars here. Make sure not to hit them with the gas tank. So move this piece of wood. Comment. Sorry if I'm in the way. Oh. See, handlebars just moved on me. Definitely not an easy task. Oh, I believe there's some sort of vacuum line attached to this too. Didn't know that was there. Might be just a breather. Probably just a breather line for the gas tank. Okay, we were able to get that gas tank off. So here's the fuel line to the fuel selector valve. Yeah, it has a big cut in it. Probably had a pinhole, but didn't help removing it. You can see it goes over here. Looks like to the, I believe this is the vacuum that helps it. Fuel vacuum pump, not sure. But this is the issue I had when I tried to start the bike, is fuel would be pouring out here. I think I think this is like a fuel overflow. You know, something was stuck on the carburetor, and when I would turn the valve on, try to start the bike, fuel would just be constantly dumping out of here. It would just dump out of here, run down the side of the bike. It would maybe only run for 10 seconds until, you know, the carburetors get flooded out. But that's the problem I was seeing with this bike when I tried to initially start it. Got the little fuel issue now, but hopefully that shouldn't be too hard sourcing this fuel line. Only a couple of bends to it. We have the air filter here, air filter box. So let's go ahead. This is above the carburetors. So let's get this whole assembly removed. Okay, it looks like there's just a bunch of screws. Got some plastic cladding here on the side, kind of like help cover everything up, but let's remove this. I believe there's one on the other side. Hopefully we're able to get to the screws here on the air box. Now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like they're all the way around the air box here. You might have to take the top part off before you get to the bottom, but we'll find out. Guess to get a little more access to this air cleaner, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this little decorative piece here on the bike. Looks like there's one screw here, another screw here. Hopefully this little cover thing pops off. Got the 2 screws removed. I was pulling on this way, trying to get it removed. As you can see, just pull it towards you. Comes right off. I got the 2 screws removed off here. Let's just open it the same way. There we go. Got it. Here we are on the left side of the bike after we got that little decorative piece of chrome off here. This is that secondary air filter that everybody keeps talking about. Say there's a little foam filter in here that deteriorates over time. It should kind of be replaced. You can go to Home Depot and buy just a little foam piece for the breather, you know, just air filter, and replace that. I'll take a look at that, but let's go ahead and get this bracketry removed here. I think there's 1, 2, I think 2 here. Could be mistaken, but let me see if that removes this whole bracket assembly so we can move it down. Okay, so it looks like those 2 bolts held this bracket assembly on, but we also have the choke assembly on here, and I believe this is for the idle. Just kind of move this off to the side. Looks like there's just like a little loop bracket here that you can just kind of move it off to the side, and this whole assembly will just kind of, there we go, just like that. Let's go ahead and remove the hose here for the secondary air filter. Just come off just like that. Here we go. You have the throttle assembly here. You have your return, your forward and return cables here. So essentially when you pull the throttle, you got one cable going that way, one pulls it, and then the other one pulls it back to return. And this will work for all 4 of the carburetors. You can see they all work at the same time. But it looks like we got this side pretty much free. I know we'll have to loosen these up and remove these cables off that assembly to get the carburetors off. Just go ahead and make sure you take a couple pictures of how this goes on, so when we rebuild everything we can put it back together correctly. Just to make this a little bit easier on this side, on the right side of the bike, I think there's 1 screw, and then there's another screw over here. I don't know what this is. Look like mud dauber nest or something. May have built something here under the bike. Look at that. What is that? I don't know what that is. Something to stop it. I don't know. What is that? Kind of looks like, it's like Play-Doh or something. Like a consistency of Play-Doh. Not sure what that is. It was just right there. Not sure if it stopped from vibrating. I don't know. Next thing on the list here, we'll go ahead and I think we're just going to remove all the screws off the top of the airbox. If you just go around the perimeter of the airbox here, you will see all the screws that hold the top of this on, and I believe once we get this top part removed, we'll have access to the bottom half of the air cleaner. Okay, we got all the screws removed to the air box. You can see the top half is moving. And it looks like we have a hose here going to the air box, so I'm just going to remove this clamp. Might take a little bit, like a screwdriver in there to remove this, but I think we got to get this hose removed as well. Okay, looks like we got to get this snorkel removed here off of the top of the air box. So essentially there is a bracket with 2 screws holding this on. So there's one on this side and one on this side. So let's get these screws removed, slide the bracket, that bracket there that holds it down, slide that out of the way and get this snorkel removed. Got those 2 screws removed for the snorkel. Looks like this bracket just comes out. Then it should just be able to come off like that. Alright, now we can remove the top part of the air cleaner. Okay, let's go ahead and remove this top part of the air cleaner here. Should just slide out. There we go. And wow, look at that dirty air filter. This bike needs some maintenance to it. I guess along with this, you know, we're going to get fresh fuel in the tank. I have not checked the spark plugs. I know it has oil in it, but don't know when the last time the oil and filter has been changed. I think that'd be great to do along with this. I mean, what's the point of rebuilding the carburetors if you don't have the rest of the maintenance on the bike, you know, up to date? So definitely an air filter in the future for it. And some oil change. We'll check spark plugs, filter change. Just need some maintenance. Alright, but we got the top cover off. Let's see what else we need to get the carbs removed. Okay, in order to remove this bottom section here, you can see the back part doesn't have any screws, but I went ahead and took a look. There's 1, 2, and 3 Phillips head screwdrivers right there. And if we get those removed, we should be able to remove the bottom half of this air filter box. Alright, let's go ahead and get this removed. Get it over these velocity stacks. Just a little rubber flap here, kind of protecting everything on your carbs, I guess from rock chips. Just get this over that. And just keep removing it. Never really moved this piece before, but seems to be going this way. Just be careful. Just be careful of those velocity stacks. It's almost there. Trust me, we all go through this. It's not as easy as it looks. Alright, there we go. Bottom half removed. Right, next I'm going to go ahead and remove this screw here. It essentially holds this clamp for the choke. Right there. So remove that so that'll become unattached. And then we'll have to remove this right here. And this is your throttle linkages, cables. So let's go ahead and get those 2 removed off this carburetor assembly. Just grab a screwdriver here. Let's loosen up that screw. Should be able to just slide this onto the side. And then this will be able to pop out. Get a little bit of leverage here. There we go. Just slides out. Go ahead and tighten this back up so you don't lose your screw. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to come right here. You're just going to loosen up the nuts to these throttle cables. Come over here if you just loosen them up enough. Make sure to come over here with Sharpie and some tape. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark this bottom cable just so there's no confusion when reassembling it. Okay, got them marked bottom and top. Simply just loosen the nut until the assembly comes out here. So this one will just come out here and then just come over here. This will be able to come out just like that. Same thing for this side. Just like that. You got your throttle cable removed. Alright, so what we have next, we got all the cables removed. I know we have a fuel line back here somewhere. Next, we're going to try to remove the carburetors from the rubber piece right here that goes into the cylinder. I'm going to use this pry bar here for some leverage. Hopefully I'm able to get these to come up. Not really sure, haven't done this before, don't want to break anything. So you can see that whole carburetor assembly moves. Don't want to break nothing. Just go slow, be gentle with it. Probably been on here a while. I don't know if you can see some of the assemblies starting to come free. Looks like that front one there already kind of came free. Let me go to the other side, get a little bit more leverage. Let's see what we got here. You can see that this part already came free. What about this part of the assembly over here? Oh, looks like the assembly finally came free. Oh, there we go. Just be really careful not to drop anything in there. There we go. Here's the fuel lines in the back we got to get to. But this whole carburetor assembly is free. Oh, almost. Let me get this line out of the way that went to the on and off valve to the gas tank. Pretty much just goes all the way over here, right here. So let me get this out of the way. Gonna get a little bit more room in here so we can see what's going on. Okay, we got that fuel line off here to the, I guess the vacuum right here. So we got that line off. There's also this one right here. Looks like it's just a breather that goes back into the crankcase. This right here, let's remove it. So that gives us better access to what's going on right here for the fuel lines. Okay, it looks like we only have one more fuel line that's right here. That's what goes to this pump. That's the other one that's right here. So let's go ahead and get this connection off, get this hose off so we can get this whole carburetor assembly free, removed from the bike. Okay, we got both of these lines right here, the one to the carb, one to the tank, and it looks like that did it. Looks like that's the whole carburetor assembly there. Whoop whoop! Nice. There we go. That's what's causing all these problems right here. Alright, here is the carburetor assembly for the 2002 Honda Magna. Got your velocity stacks here. Let's take a look at the bottom here. Just kind of look how dirty this is. Definitely going to clean it up. Look for any cracked hoses. Now this assembly seems to be working fine. Let's turn it over. Indication of some sort of leak. Just take a look. Some of these gaskets came off with this instead of staying on the bike. Done this before where I go to reassemble them. We just put a little bit of motor oil on here, and once we get them back on here, just so the assembly slides back on, makes a good connection. But this looks pretty good. So definitely got to take the bottom of these bowls off. So we're going to remove all the screws to these bowls. We're going to get to the jets. Stay tuned for part 2 of this. Part 2, we're going to be taking apart the bowls, completely cleaning everything on here, using the rebuild kit there, any of the cleaning tools that we need just to clean up this whole assembly. You know, if there's any lubrication we need to add to these springs, anything like this, just maintenance this whole carburetor assembly here. It's just been neglected for a little bit, but we will definitely get this fixed up. Really quick, I just wanted to crack one of these bowls open real quick, so I'm going to remove some of these screws and just see what it looks like in there before we conclude this video. Okay, this is the one right here. Gonna crack this screw loose. I already removed this one here, this one here. We go ahead and just this screw. Alright, moment of truth. And there's definitely sediment down there at the bottom of it. Look at these seals. Man. I'm not sure if somebody tried to seal this. It looks like somebody tried to seal it back up with silicone. Okay, looks like this concludes everything to part 1 of the carburetor removal on the 2002 Honda Magna. Here they are right here. We will be getting to them soon. I will need a new piece of fuel line, or else that will be a major fuel leak to the on and off gas valve. Looks like we're going to remove all the gas out of the gas tank. I'm going to look into getting a new fuel filter. But yeah, just tune in for the part 2 of the carburetor rebuild. This was just removing it. Never done it before. Kind of watched a little bit of videos here and there, but once you get to it firsthand, you get to see you know, how everything comes apart. But yeah, appreciate everybody watching. Stay tuned for part 2 of the carburetor rebuild on the 2002 Honda Magna. Alright guys, thank you. Monday to 6. Out.